Welcome to the historic Grand Prix of Monaco. I'm so super blessed to be meeting Clive Chapman, the MD of Classic Team Lotus. Clive, what is this car, please?
Well, this really is the crown jewels of Monaco.
Crown jewels of Monaco, eh?
Stirling Moss's car from 1961. Stirling himself considered to be his greatest ever race. For Lotus, it was a hugely important win. Not actually by Team Lotus, by Rob Walker Racing. Privateer bought the car from my father, went and won Monaco. It was a 3-hour race back then.
3 hours!
Beat the Ferraris, beat the works Ferraris, so, you know, Lotus in its early days really beating the mighty Ferraris. Owned by Tybian Salisbury, an English collector, bought the car a few years ago, and a couple of years ago did well. This year even better, working his way up the grid, taking it steady. He's done the whole weekend, hasn't put a wheel wrong, perfect.
And what's the sort of engine? What is it?
It's a 1500cc, four-cylinder.
Four-cylinder, 1500cc.
Yeah, so in the days when power in F1 was relatively limited, which is great for Lotus.
Yeah.
Because Lotus was all about lightweight cars, low drag, good handling, perfect for Monaco. And so he got the win.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Okay, that's the crown jewels of Monaco.
Crown jewels of Monaco.
But the three of them together are the crown jewels of Lotus.
I love that. The three crown jewels of Lotus.
And,
okay.
This is the Type 21, chassis 933. Won the US Grand Prix. That was the first Team Lotus Grand Prix win at Watkins Glen, similarly in 1961. So the first time that Colin actually managed to win a race with Team Lotus. One of the really outstanding 60s drivers. Owned by Dan Collins. He's owned the car for donkey's years. He's raced here for donkey's years. And he put in another great performance this weekend. Finished 7th. Didn't touch any walls or barriers or anything.
Must always be a fear if you're a racing driver in such a valuable asset.
He certainly appreciates the car. He's honoured to own it. He looks at it from the point of view of what it represents history-wise and how much fun he has in it.
What sort of engine again are we looking at?
So again, this is a 1.5 litre four-cylinder.
What kind of top speed would you get? I mean, I know it's not.
I mean,
speed,
Monza,
but
you were probably looking at about 165, 170 in one of these things.
I mean, that is super fast back in that time, huh?
Yeah, it's just a glass fibre skin.
I mean, you can see why, unfortunately, so many drivers would have died if they have an accident at that speed.
I mean, mainly the cars weren't really designed for impact in those days, and the drivers actually didn't have seatbelts.
Oh my lord, no seatbelts!
Because it was considered better to be thrown out. The rollover bar that you see now is because the drivers do wear seatbelts, but you can see the original rollover bar inside the modern one that's now required. That's pretty much the only difference in the car between now and 1961. The tyres are the same, fuel is the same, the engine's maybe got a little bit more power, but not much.
Is this one a race?
This is the dream car. Got a great collection of cars. This is the Type 25 chassis R4. It's Jim Clark's championship winning car from 1963. Greatest Team Lotus driver, greatest Formula 1 driver in my opinion. There was 10 races in the championship that year. He won 8 of them at a time when that just didn't happen. We got the red leather trim, the red steering wheel, look gorgeous, goes like a train. It's owned by John Bowers here from Australia. It's just won Monaco Historic for the 6th time today.
Wow.
An outstanding race against the Ferrari. It was nose to tail the whole way. Andy Middlehurst used to race British touring cars, so he's an ex-pro driver. He really knows how to handle
this guy is a 6-time Monaco winner in the historic.
Exactly, yeah. This is the 14th historic Monaco. This is a Climax V8 engine, still 1.5 litre.
So what's make it, when you say Climax V8, it's obviously changed from a 4-cylinder?
Yeah, well, that was a Climax again. They were Climax
Climaxes.
engines. They were developed as water pump engines for the military and for the fire service to be able to pump water at a very high rate, very efficiently, and be able to be carried by 2 men in the field. Wow. So lightweight and lots of power and durability is exactly what Dad wanted. And then they went on and developed the V8 because they started being successful in motor racing.
What's on the dials these days?
I mean, you've got
oil,
water. Fuel pressure. There's no actual fuel gauge as such.
Right.
There's no speedo. There's only a tacho.
Right.
They probably didn't want to know how quick they were going.
Tacho for those again is what?
Revving, the rev counter.
Rev
but
counter.
Then they probably didn't even look at the rev counter that much because they just learnt the sound. So they knew exactly what revs they were doing from the noise. This is arguably the greatest F1 car in the world. It revolutionised Formula 1 car design. It introduced the monocoque chassis, much stronger, also lighter, less frontal area at a time when drag was vital to minimise drag, to maximise speed. Much stiffer chassis, so the suspension was more sophisticated and the performance of the tyres was maximised. So faster down the straight, faster around the corners, Jim Clark driving.
What more could you ask for?
Yeah,
well
and
done.
Today we beat the Ferrari again. Absolutely hogged all the TV coverage. Lots of people looking at home, and yeah, just a great result for the team. The lads were here till 1:30 this morning working on the cars, and they were driving a car around the paddock at 12:30, which didn't go down too well with the locals. I mean, winning genuinely isn't the thing in historics, but to get a win, you know, for the lads after all that effort they've made, and for the owner who's flown in from Australia.
And do you have factory? Do you have a merchandise store? Do people buy online?
Oh yeah, go on our website, Classic Team Lotus.
The Classic Team Lotus, you want to buy the merch? Yeah, fantastic.
We're based at Hethel in Norfolk in England. We shook all these cars down.
So you have your own test track?
Own test track.
Wow. And do people come and watch or test drive?
Occasionally the owners will shake their cars down before an event. Generally Chris Dinage, the team manager, does it.
Yeah.
But it's a big advantage when you arrive at Monaco. There isn't tons of track time.
Yeah.
So to know the car's on the money, on the button,
yeah,
it's a big advantage.
Okay.
And it's just nice for the factory making the modern road cars. For whenever the old cars go out around the track, the production line kind of stops and people go out and have an early lunch and watch this going round.
I mean, the sound must be amazing.
It's a really nice aspect of being based at Hethel.
I know you're very busy and it's a very busy weekend.
Yeah, I've got to go and have lunch.
I thank you very much indeed for your time. And whatever we can do to help Classic Team Lotus, we will do with pleasure.
Very good.
So thank you very much.
Great.